This is Kite Cutter TV with another presentation. We gotta talk about this. Okay, guys, agents apprehended over 200 undocumented immigrants during smuggling attempts. Over 200 undocumented immigrants are taken into custody after agents foiled two separate smuggling attempts over the weekend. The first incident happened on December 4th when a tractor trailer approached a Freer checkpoint and a canine alerted to the cargo. A search of the vehicle led agents to the discovery of 138 individuals who were determined to be illegally present in the United States. The very next day, agents at the I-35 checkpoint searched another tractor trailer. A non-intrusive scan of the vehicle led agents to discover 80 undocumented individuals that were crammed inside. A total of 218 individuals were taken into Border Patrol custody and were medically evaluated. We got more immigration news. 17 illegal immigrants arrested in a stash house in Laredo. Also another stash house with illegal aliens found in Houston for the second time in 1 week. Plus, illegal immigrants want a stimulus check crying poverty and inability to keep up with rent and other bills. We got that plus a lot more. Check this out.
For the second time in less than a week, several people were rescued from a suspected stash house here in Houston. Today's discovery was made at an apartment on Fondra near West Belford, that's the southwest side. Inside, 6 undocumented immigrants. They arrived in Houston yesterday from Ecuador and Guatemala. Police tell us a woman made an anonymous 911 call to report what was going on.
That's one of the things about human trafficking is it's one of those things that it hides itself in plain sight. And that's why our community is our force multiplier. They're the ones that, called it into this situation. So sometimes those small little red flags that stand out, that's what makes a big difference.
One man was arrested at the apartment and is charged with smuggling and operating a stash house. He told investigators he was working to pay off his own smuggling debt. Tonight, we're also learning more about the man arrested in a different smuggling case last Thursday. That's when about 30 people were rescued from a home after one of them managed to escape and get help. According to court records, the man who was watching them is also an undocumented immigrant and says he was working to pay off his own debts for being smuggled into the country. He's due back in federal court on Thursday.
New here at 10, 6 undocumented immigrants from Ecuador and Guatemala found inside a home in Houston, what appears to be yet another stash house. One man arrested, charged with smuggling and operating such a house. This is the second bust in less than a week in the Houston metro, where people have been rescued. Last Thursday, nearly 30 were freed, and a Honduran national was charged with human trafficking.
In the state in early summer, 87% of those immigrants are in need of help paying for housing now. 54% say that they need assistance with food, and similar number of people aren't able to cover all of their utility costs, they say. And our KIUN's Drew Andre joins us live in Salinas tonight with this push for more COVID relief for these undocumented workers. Drew?
Well, good evening, Veronica. State data shows that 1 in every 10 workers in California are undocumented immigrants. Many of those have essential jobs like farm workers. And so advocates for those immigrants say they deserve just as much relief as anyone else.
2, 3, 4, 7.
The phone lines rang off the hook the morning COVID relief opened up for undocumented workers in California back in May.
In the first hour, we received 30,000 calls.
When this assistance arrived, 4,500 undocumented citizens on the Central Coast received $500, but statewide, under 10% of all undocumented immigrants received that one-time state aid. Agricultural jobs, construction, and hospitality make up the majority of the undocumented residents here.
These are individuals that are not getting any type of relief, no unemployment, are struggling with just meeting basic needs. And so we're extremely concerned about what these next months will mean for our community.
Estela Ramirez, who lives in Greenfield, is one of those working undocumented immigrants who received some help and says it's needed again now more than ever.
We are field workers, and we have never gotten any relief from the companies that we work for. We're just told to go home and rest and deal with our bills as we best can.
The survey shows most people lost their jobs or hours at work, and others had to take care of their kids, now home from school. That's resulted in the need for food assistance and rent relief. It's no surprise to organizations like the Community Action Board, but the new figures could help advocates convince state and federal leaders that these immigrants should be included in future COVID aid.
Undocumented individuals have paid over $40 billion in taxes alone. They deserve, to get some relief.
So immigrant advocates are hopeful that a federal stimulus package would include undocumented immigrants under the incoming Biden administration, and also possible more state relief is still on the table too. But right now, there's no time frame for that, Veronica.
For the first time since 2017, the DACA program is now open to new applicants. The program protects undocumented immigrants brought here to the U.S. as children from deportation. On Friday, a federal judge ordered the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to take applications again. Here are the requirements. They include no serious criminal convictions, arriving in the U.S. before turning 16 and before 2008, and earning a high school diploma, GED, or serving in the military. A DHS spokesman says the department will comply, but they do plan to appeal.
The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, commonly known as DACA, has been restored following a federal court order. Fox 11's Karen Cruz Orduña found out what this means for undocumented immigrants on the central and south coasts.
With DACA, that's a start that we had since 2012.
Immigration advocates are celebrating the restoration of the DACA program after a new court ruling.
The president scaring the dreamers, we're going to take away this program.
On Friday, a U.S. district judge said the Department of Homeland Security had to accept new applications. This follows a November ruling where the judge said acting Department of Homeland Security Chad Wolf was unlawfully in his position.
There was dreamers that were applying but also being rejected because they weren't accepting applications, even though there was that Supreme Court ruling in favor of DACA.
Immigration policy really needs to be determined, by Congress.
DACA protects more than 645,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children from deportation. According to Migration Policy Institute, another 1 million could benefit from this new ruling.
Allowing for them to work legally, have a Social Security, be able to further their education, it is exciting to see.
Personally, I believe one president shouldn't be allowed to issue an executive order and another one can't rescind it. I mean, they're both doing the same thing.
The Department of Homeland Security says it's working on an appeal. In Santa Maria, Karen Cruz Orduña, Fox 11 News.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, God bless. Peace.